Hey, so you've made your psychoactive Blue Lotus Flower Wine and now you need to put it in a bottle. So I know some people just stick it in a mason jar and stick it up on the shelf and that's it. But I'd like to have a little bit of fun making the bottles and making the labels. For one thing, it just feels like it completes the process. It's also fun and creative. And also when people come over, they're like, what's that on your shelf? That looks very mysterious. So it's kind of a good talking point. And also if you're making it as a gift for someone, it's just a really nice presentation. So I'm gonna show you how to put together a little bottle with a label and how to also get your Blue Lotus Flower Wine from the mason jar into its own bottle. So as you know, you probably followed some of my other videos. I go over the psychoactive Blue Lotus flower and how when it's infused in wine, it can create a really magical psychoactive elixir. So here I have the flower matter, which has been infusing in a bottle of wine for well over a moon cycle. So I'm now going to separate the flower from the wine in order to just have the wine, the psychoactive wine, minus all those slimy flowers. So what you're gonna need for this is, you're gonna need some kind of a measuring cup. You're going to need a colander or a sieve. And you're also going to need a funnel too. So just a little recap from my previous video. I had a bottle of wine and I took the Blue Lotus flowers, the petals, and I put them inside of the wine and they've been infusing. So now it's ready to go. Let's do it. So what I like to do for the container to hold my Blue Lotus Flower Wine is using the bottles of Canadian maple syrup. So I've got one there. I've got an empty one. So what I do is I just take an empty bottle and just stick it in a pot of soapy water and I leave it there for a day or two just to get the label off and loose. Here we are a couple days later and I reckon that this will be ready. Yep. So as you can see, the label just slides off. So the label just really easily peels off. So I'll make sure I get all of that sticky label off of this bottle. You can get it off just with your fingers, or you can also use like a little scrubby brush to scrub it off. There's also products that you can get that take off gummy things. So as you can see, I've taken all the labels off of this. I'm also going to take this little plastic tag off. So I've cut the tag with scissors, so it just pulls it off. And there we have our bottle, and we've got like the cap here too. Okay, so I got it set up, ready to strain those slimy flowers and collect the magical wine. Oh. Okay, sort of made a little bit of a mess there. But here we go. I think I got it under control. Right, so I've got quite a bit filled up there, so I'll just put that to the side. As you can see, I made a prolific mess. Let me just clean that up. Okay, that's cleaned up. So I'm gonna take one of my Canadian maple syrup bottles that I had scrubbed all the labels off and cleaned up. So I'm going to use that as my bottle for the Blue Lotus wine. So this is where the funnel comes in handy. So we hook it up with a bit of funnel action there and then transport the magical wine right into this bottle. So let's not make a mess. Okay, so I'll put that one to the side. And then I have the cap that I cleaned up as well. So then that's one bottle filled up. So let's get to labeling it. So I want to get some labels going on. Actually, I kind of want to have black labels. I'm going to paint a bunch of them black. I know I could probably just buy black stickers, but I thought, you know, why not? Let's just do it this way. Using black acrylic paint, painting on top of, you know, those just normal, regular labels that you get for sending out letters. So now it's time to mark my labels. I had painted them black and now they're dry. And I'm taking one of those poster pens. It's like a paint poster pen. I'm using white. So I'm doing white on a black background. I also wanted to use symbols that help signify the history of the ancient Egyptian Blue Lotus wine. So I'm using the Eye of Horus as the connection with ancient Egypt. The Eye of Horus is the symbol of protection, also because he was a sky god. There's a lot of connection with the sky, and I find that, you know, when you drink the Blue Lotus wine, you do feel like you're sky high in many ways. So I'm using that symbol there. This is the hieroglyphic of the lotus flower. So that's found in a lot of Egyptian iconography. So that symbol there signifies that we're looking at lotus flower as one of the ingredients in the wine. Now the third symbol here is the Egyptian symbol for the moon. And the reason why I'm putting the moon symbol on the label is that this Egyptian Blue Lotus wine I made through one lunar cycle, which was 29.5 days. And also, you know, there's a lot of, you know, a lot of scholars would say that Blue Lotus flower is linked with the moon, and that's the ruling celestial body. So here I have all the labels done. So the next thing to do is put them on the bottle. So I got my bottle here, and I'll take my first label and I'll place it on. Try to center it. And I'll get the other one as well. Right, try to center it again. So there we go. So there you have it, 2 bottles of Blue Lotus Flower Wine, all ready to sit on your shelf and attract your visitors, or all ready for you to gift to a friend. I hope that this video inspired you through the alchemical process of making Blue Lotus Flower Wine, all the way up to the labeling and the symbology and the alchemy going along with it. So feel free to leave a comment if you have packaged your wine and use different creative tools in order to complete the process. I'd love to hear about it. And in the meantime, check out my other videos. I've got quite a few up there now on the Blue Lotus flower.